All right, let's see how this goes. Um, I don't really know how to start this. Um, yeah, so I'm sure you'll edit out whatever you need to edit out. Um, but this is going to be a client testimonial for my coach, Adam Peeler. Um, Adam's been my coach now for about a year, a little bit over a year and some months, although him and I have been friends for probably 2 years. Met him a while ago back when I lived in Utah, and I decided to officially hire him as a coach. Um, so why did I hire Adam? Um, I have been in sports and have had an athletic background for quite some time. I am 27 and a half. I'll be 28 in April now, I guess at this point. And I have been in sports since about age 10. So about 17, 18 years of considering myself to be an athlete, even though it wasn't until I was about 14, 15 years old where I started working out. But I didn't really start powerlifting until I was early 20s. Um, so I had a background that I knew what my body wanted to do, how to get it stronger just by trial and error. That only gets you so far, because I am not an expert in this field. Um, I am just an athlete. And so I hired Adam for a multitude of reasons, but primarily because I started running out, or rather hitting a wall when it comes to programming for myself. Um, Programming for yourself can be hard. It's hard to be objective with yourself. It's hard to push yourself sometimes when you're the only one who's really rooting for you. That's probably the main reason why I hired Adam, uh, is for that. Uh, so what were the goals you had? What was your dream outcome you had when you started working out with me? What were some of the goals you had? Um, so since I've had Adam as my coach, um, although him and I have reached some of my lifetime goals, he has helped me realize that even though they are my lifetime goals, they were easy to achieve. M- my life of powerlifting is far from over. And so that was actually a hard thing, is to understand what good goals would be other than just a blanket statement of I want to get stronger and I want to lose weight. That's what everybody wants to do. But sometimes when you're in this level of um, athleticism, you have to have a concrete goal, because without a long-term plan, you kind of don't know where you're headed. And it's really important that you do have a plan. So um one goal that I have had with Adam, um which I think is something that everyone wants to have when they hire a coach, is to realize their true potential. I knew that I couldn't do that myself. I needed to start to call on others for help. And just accept the fact that, this isn't my bread and butter, and for other people it is. Adam's very smart, Adam's very nice, and he's good at being a coach. So he actually helped me with the goal of achieving specific numbers with squat, bench, and deadlift. But really, at the end of the day, my goal is to just become a better lifter and be more objective with myself. Um, and he has definitely pushed me to do that. That's probably one of the major complaints I think that he would have, is I don't push myself as hard as I should be doing. And he's really great at doing that, as a coach should. How long have you been working with me? I have been working with Adam for, like I said, about a year and 2 months. And as of today, when this is being recorded at the end of February, I will have Adam as my coach for the foreseeable future, all the way up until the end of this year. So we'll go from there when the time comes. What were you struggling with before you started working out with me? I would say the hardest thing that I struggled with before working with Adam is understanding what it takes to work hard. You do reach a certain point in strength training where you have your heavy days, of course, and you have your lighter days, but your lighter days doesn't also mean that the weight is light. That was something that I struggled with immensely because I thought that with a heavy day of lifting, whatever movement or exercise it was, my body needed a break. And while that's true, I was taking that too far. Um, and I wasn't giving myself enough credit when I was loading up the barbell or choosing weights that I needed to do for my workouts. I was making them too light. That was one of the hardest things that I struggled with, because of course when you judge yourself during your workouts, and you have to understand how hard a workout is, it's hard to perceive that when the weight feels heavy, even though you go back on video and you watch it and you see how fast something moves. But in the moment, it feels like you're gonna die, or it feels like you're so out of breath that you just want to collapse and just finish the set early. Um, I struggled with that a lot because I didn't want to work too hard. I didn't want to push myself too much. And I think after this year and working with Adam, he's really showed me that, if you really want to get far in this sport, once you get to a certain level, every day is going to be heavy. Whether that's a strength focused day or a volume focused day, it's just important to remember that it's going to be hard and it's going to be heavy, and you have to feel like you got a good amount of work done in your session. So moving on, how did I help you overcome these struggles? I think that's pretty obvious. Just by being a good coach, by taking my feedback into consideration, of course, and although listening to my words saying I'm tired and this is heavy and it sucks and it hurts, um, Adam has done a great job at taking that feedback and internalizing it to understand how I really am feeling, but then to also be a good coach and say, okay, well, you have to suck it up. And it's gonna be hard and it's gonna hurt, and sometimes it just has to suck, but like that's just kind of a part of the process. So more specifically, though, that comes with Adam's one-on-one calls. He has weekly check-ins, and that's an important time to have a conversation, a real dialogue with him and with yourself, because you have to be honest about the weight. You have to be honest about how it moves. You have to be honest about how hard you're trying. Because if you're not, and Adam just sees a number or a coach just sees a number, they're just going to assume that things are fine until you speak up about it. That was another thing that I had struggled with a lot, is I had spent so much time programming for myself and I do so many things by myself. It was hard to let someone else take control of the situation. I had to let go of a little bit of control and put trust in him, which is also one of the reasons why you hire a coach, is because you trust that individual. You trust their knowledge, you trust their judgment, you trust their opinion of whether it's exercise selection or frequency or volume or whatever the case is. That was the first time in my life where I had to let the reins go and give them to somebody else. And while it took a lot of uh, trial and error, once I was able to overcome that, it definitely made my relationship with Adam, from a coach and an athlete perspective, a lot better, a lot healthier, because I could tell him more and feel confident that he is going to take that and internalize it and really do something with that information. But it's also nice just to vent to somebody about how difficult something is, because they do it too. Adam, as a coach, isn't just sitting on the sidelines. He's also an incredible athlete. So he understands the struggles and he understands the pain that you may go through. So sharing that information with him was really hard for me to do. And just through a lot of conversation and trial and error, we were really able to bridge that gap. And it just truly strengthened the relationship that I have with Adam interpersonally as a coach. And then also just to connect athlete to athlete, which is just really important. How much effort and time would you have had to sacrifice on your own if you didn't make the choice to work with me trying to achieve your goals? That's actually, so that is a really good question. How much time was I spending writing my own programs, trying to think about the workouts that I was going to do? um, a lot of time, an immense amount of time, not just time on the computer or on my phone, putting numbers into an Excel spreadsheet and then thinking through them, um, but also spending a lot of time at night just going over the workout for the day, thinking, how is this going to affect my next session? um do I feel like I did good, or just asking myself so many questions that I don't need to ask myself anymore? They're questions for Adam. uh and a lot of that weight gets lifted off your shoulder again, like when you do that. I really, this kind of may start to coincide with like my last answer, but like, to put simply, a lot of time, I was spending a lot of time writing my program, thinking about writing my program, thinking about past programs that I had ran, the data that I had collected, looking at trends over time, different facets of my life that may or may not be affecting my performance the day and week and month as they go on. So that is a huge reason to hire and to have a coach, is because they take that burden away from you. Although sometimes easy or not so easy to give up, but it's important to let go of that and let someone else take control of that. What is your favorite part about working with me? uh, so I'd say very personally, my favorite part of working with Adam is listening to him express his opinions and concerns over his own training. Um, Oftentimes, when we hire a professional, I think in any sense of the word professional, in any career or field, we expect them to always have the answers. And that's really not the case, especially for any of you watching this that may be of the younger generation that does have Adam as a coach. Maybe you're 18 or 19 or 20 years old. The older that you get, the more that you'll start to realize that a lot of people don't have things figured out. And even though Adam has a lot figured out and he works incredibly hard every single day, he still goes through his own struggles and challenges as a lifter. Just because he is a coach and he has competed in powerliftings doesn't mean that his training is always amazing. And I think that's a really important aspect of being an athlete and being one of Adam's clients, is because it's a little bit more humanizing to understand that Adam can have a bad workout, just like I can have a bad workout. Um, it definitely bridges the gap more of just like a human to human connection, which is really good because Adam likes to be very interpersonal with all of his clients. And that's definitely my favorite part about working with Adam, is I get to tell him all of my frustrations, And I get to hear his frustrations, and it makes me remember that Adam is a person who has to go through these things just as much as we do. And he's really good at overcoming them. So being able to have conversations with him on a weekly basis about the things that he goes through and the things that I go through as a client, and really connect on those things, is definitely my favorite part about working with Adam. I hope that was good. I'm going to leave you a couple minutes of this. I can always reshoot this because I did everything, like literally I just did this off the rip. So if there's anything that you want me to change about this, my background, if my audio, I didn't even test my audio, like my audio is no bueno. I guess just let me know. Or if you want me to cut this up, I can definitely clean up this file. I also recorded this with Zoom. I just decided to choose that because I typically do this for work, and I can just send you a link. But if you want me to make any changes, just let me know. Peace.